Okay, so yesterday we talked about converting logarithms to exponentials, and then we're solving. So today we're actually going to solve logarithmic equations. You will not have to use the log button still again. So everything we're going to solving will be making exponentials. So we talked about yesterday how you convert. So when you're solving these, if you have a log just on one side, we'll talk about what you do when there's a log on both sides. You're going to write it as an exponential. So this would be 8 to the 4/3 equals x. After you write it as an exponential, you just figure out what is 8 to the 4/3. Well, 8 to the 4/3 is 16. So x equals 16. Okay, here's another one that's set up the same way. So if I write this as an exponential, this would be 16 to the 3/4 equals x. So then I figure out what is 16 to the 3/4, which is 8. So 8 equals x. Okay, this time the x is in a different spot, but you're still going to set it up the same way. So this would be x to the 3/2 equals 27. And then to get rid of the 3/2 power, you're going to take it to the reciprocal power. So I'm going to take it to the 2/3 because we have to solve for x. So I do 27 to the 2/3 power. Okay, so this is when you do your caret button. So all of these, in order to solve, you do like the number, then you do your caret, and then you put in the number. So 27, and then I would do caret 2/3 would be 9. Okay, we'll do one more like this, and then we'll talk about when you have logs on both sides. So it's the same way. Just because it has more going on doesn't mean it's not done the same way. So you're going to write like an exponential. So this would be 4 to the 5th equals 4x minus 20. Okay, I'm going to figure out what 4 to the 5th is, which is 1024 equals 4x minus 20. Then I would add 20 to both sides. So I have 1044 equals 4x. Divide by 4. X equals 261. Okay, so this is just if you have a log on one side. Set it up like an exponential and solve it. Okay, now we're going to talk about what do you do when you have a log on both sides. Okay, if you have a log on both sides, it's going to be the same log base number as long as it's one log on both sides. So there's one log here and one log here. Those cancel, and you just solve what's left. So I have x plus 20 equals 6x. So to solve, I would subtract x. So I have 20 equals 5x divided by 5. X equals 4. Okay, when you have a log on both sides, you need to plug this in and make sure you cannot take the log of 0 and you cannot take the log of a negative number. So when I plug this in, I get 24, that's okay. Plug it in here, I get 24. Those are both positive numbers, so that's my answer. They don't have to be the same numbers, but you need to make sure that they're both positive. Okay, here's another one where we have a log on both sides. So the logs are going to cancel each other out. So I have 3 minus x plus 5x minus 15. Okay, I want to get my x's on the same side, so I'm going to subtract 5x. So I have 3 minus 6x equals negative 15. Subtract 3. So I have negative 6x equals negative 18. Divide by negative 6, so I get x equals 3. Okay, but when I plug that in, this gives me 3 minus 3, which is 0. 0 is not a positive number. So that means this answer doesn't work, and my answer is actually no solution. Okay, and you have to actually plug it in to check. It's going to look like your answer works, but you need to make sure you plug it in. And it doesn't matter which side. You can try both of them, but if it's not positive in at least one area, it's automatically going to be no solution. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. And if I'm talking too fast, you can always pause the video. Okay, so number 7, they're both log of 13s. So the log of 13s cancel. So I have x squared minus 4 equals 3x. Okay, this is a quadratic. So in quadratic, you need to get everything on the same side. So I'm going to subtract the 3x. So I have x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. And then you're going to factor this. So when I factor, multiply to get negative 4. Add to get negative 3, will be negative 4 and 1. So this factors into x minus 4, x plus 1. And then I'm going to set each part equal to 0, and I'm going to solve. So if I solve this one, I would add 4. So I have x equals 4. And so I'm going to subtract 1. So I get x equals negative 1. Okay, I need to check to make sure they don't make it a negative number or 0. Can't be 0. So I plug in 4. I get 16 minus 4. It's 12. That's okay. Over here I get 12, so this one works. I plug in negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1 minus 4. That's negative 3. It's not a positive number, so that means my only answer is x equals 4. Okay, we're going to do one more. Okay, on number 8, they're both log 9s. So the log 9s cancel. So I have 3x squared equals 2x plus 1. Okay, you can get everything on the same side. I like my x squared to be positive. So I'm going to move the 2x, I'm going to move the 1 to the left. So I'm going to subtract them. So I have 3x squared minus 2x minus 1. Okay, I'm going to factor. Oh, I forgot you guys do it like this. Sorry. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Add to get negative 2. So numbers are negative 3 and 1. Remember, you can't do the shortcut because you got a number in front. So we're going to have to split the middle. So we have 3x squared minus 3x plus 1x minus 1. Factor by grouping. So the first group you can factor out of 3x, left with x minus 1. Second one you can factor out of 1, x minus 1. So I have 3x plus 1 and x minus 1. And then I would set each part equal to 0. And I would solve. So on this one I would subtract 1, divide by 3. So I get negative 1/3. On this one I would add 1. So I get x equals 1. Okay, I need to plug them in and make sure they don't make it negative. So I plug in negative 1/3. When I square that gives me positive 1/9. Times 3 is 1/3, that's good. This would be negative 2/3 plus 1 is 1/3, so this one's fine. And I plug in 1, I get 3 here, and I get 3 here, so this one's fine. So since I have more than one answer, we use our solution sets. Okay, so your homework that's covering this is page 480, 8 through 19 all.